the leadership of the National Youth Team of the ANC that is here, led by the National Convener, Comrade Nonaiva Mutauli, and greet the leadership of the PYA structures that are here. We greet the leadership of the ANC in the province and the region that is here. Comrades, can we settle down? Can we settle down? Can we settle down? And greet yourself, most importantly. Comrades, our program is going to be very short. It is going to be short because the ANC is having a gala dinner later. And some of us, or majority of us, must go and support the ANC gala dinner. So we're going to have, we've officially opened our program through the national anthem. We are going to have a welcoming message by the province, the convener of the Provincial Congress Preparatory Committee. We will then have introduction of provincial organizer. We will be having then an address by the National Youth Task Team. And then we are going to have an introduction of our keynote speaker, who is the SG of the ANC, newly elected. And then we will have a vote of thanks, and then we will have closure. So it's going to be a very short program, colleagues. So without a waste of time, let us sing a revolutionary slogan as we welcome the convener of the province to welcome us to this program. Comrade Kate.
Long live the ANC Youth League, long live. Long live the ANC Youth League, long live. Comrades, our energy must display that today we are hosting the former Secretary General and former President of the Youth League. So the energy must say it. So, comrades, let us sing with energy to show that we are happy to host the Secretary General. Awuthola mntana, lamntana, silwela lelizwe, mntana. Awuthola mntana, lamntana. Mate, Taname, Silwela Leliswe, Ventana, Aungeti Mama Tutuze, Aututuze, Silwela Leliswe, Ventana, we're fighting for freedom, for freedom. Tena silwela leliswe, awe mtwana. Mandla, Mandla. We are the future. No one can stop us. We are the future. No one can stop us. Bite, young lions, bite. Bite, young lions, bite. No, thank you very much. Let me greet the leadership of the Nyct, led by the convener, Comrade Nyct Mhlauli. Let me greet the leadership of the ANC present here, led by the Secretary General, newly elected, Comrade Fikile Mbalula, even our NEC members, the convener and the coordinator of the ANC Youth League. And it's a very happy moment for us that during our time, even when we are interim, we're able to deliver young people in the National Executive Committee of the ANC. It's a very happy moment that as generation is getting, as a society is getting younger, even the NEC of the ANC is now getting younger. We can even see the energy of the Secretary General that Lewato Lavaga is for deployment and they are going to attend those deployments. There's no time for laziness here. Comrades, on behalf of the PCPC of the Youth League in the Free State, we would like to welcome you in the Free State and in Mangaung, which is the birthplace of the ANC. And it's quite a historic moment. It's 111th anniversary here in the Free State, and especially in Mangaung, where the ANC was born. And it should be a message to us that coming from here, it's all systems go. We must ensure that we rebuild the ANC Youth League, we rebuild the structures of the ANC Youth League. Here in the Free State, in a few weeks, we'll be going to a congress because we are tired of being interims. And we hope the same energy will be transferred to the NYTG as well. That we can't be comfortable that we are appointed in boardrooms and Zoom meetings. We want young people to go and elect their leadership. But let us not only be focused on who's going to be elected, but we need a clear program of the ANC Youth League. We need a clear program that is going to advance the National Democratic Revolution. We no longer even speak about those things. This time. We are not even focused on building the structures of the ANC. And we need the ANC that is active, that will be able to champion the interest of our people at large. So comrades, as I sit down, I would like to welcome you to the Free State. We are happy, even business people of Free State, they are happy that ANC is now in the Free State. Even business is booming. So let us go and be social and assist the economy of the Free State. Manta!
Long live the entire spirit of Peter Mokaba, long live! Manta! Thank you! youngest convener of the ANC Youth League in the country, Comrade Ken. Comrades, we are going to move forward with our program. We are going to call Comrade Tower, the provincial organizer, to come and introduce the guests that we have here. Comrade Tower, can you come? Can we sing a revolutionary slogan, Comrade?
Thanks, comrades. My name is Chawa. I am the provincial organizer of the ANC in the Free State province. I am given one simple task today, which is to introduce people that you already know. I'm sure all of you here, you know all these people who are sitting here and people who are sitting this side. These ones, they know you at that side. So I'm going to do, I'm told that we must respect time. I'm not going to call comrades by names because I'm going to forget one name and you hold a squabble for the next 5 years. So I'm going to acknowledge structures. Perhaps I'll acknowledge one person per structure because we did not see all of you people who are here. Let me start with the leadership of the ANC that is here. I'll start by introducing the IPC members who are here. I'll start. And then we'll go to other members of the IPC who are not here. We also acknowledge you, comrades. Secondly, let me go to the leadership of the ANC, NEC that is here. We see Comrade Andile Lungisa, the former leader of the ANC. Comrade Stella Dabeli, Comrade Tanti Mahabeshala, Comrade Buisa Tudela, and Comrade, I think now it's Comrade SG Fikile Mbalula, and other comrades that we are not inside. Perhaps we must also acknowledge the newly elected NEC members of the institute, Comrade Joy Maimela and Comrade Nyct. And then the NYTT of the NCC, we have already introduced Comrade Convener, Comrade Nyct. Comrade Nyct. Comrade Joy Maimela, the coordinator. Comrade Nyct, the organizer. Comrade Stella Montana. Comrade Karabo Mohale. Comrade Precious Banda. Comrade Pinky Mbele, Comrade Fasia Hassan, Comrade Anela Mtutunja. Comrades, there's noise there that we don't understand. Why are you making noise? There's noise there. Can you be quiet? Can you be quiet, comrades? Can you be quiet? Comrade Vota, Comrade Zileng Subutongo, Comrade Isaac Isaac. Yeah, I think those are comrades that I saw this side, and the rest that we did not see. Then we'll just acknowledge, Comrade Kulegani Skosana. We'll just acknowledge the PCPC members from other provinces who are here, PCPC members from this province, RAC members of the ANC, and we'll then go to COSAS. The spokesperson, national spokesperson of COSAS, Comrade Douglas Ngoveni, Comrade and then we have the SG of COSAS, Comrade Makafani. And then we have the leadership of SASCO. We have Comrade Mesinka on the other side. I think we are done comrades with the introductions. The list is made. Thank you very much.
Mind comrades, can we make a plea? Can we make a plea, comrades? We can't behave in this manner in front of the SG. We can't, comrades. We don't want the SG to go back and say, that you think that you are saying we are rebuilding. Can't be. So we are pleading. We know it's hot. We want to keep the program short so that we don't have to be in this space for long, all of us. So please bear with us. Let's listen when the speaker is on the floor. Amongst those comrades that have joined us, we've seen former leaders of the ANC Youth League here. Former NEC members of the ANC Youth League, I saw them here from other provinces. Others are former leaders of the Youth League in their own provinces, they are here. Comrades, we are acknowledging you. I saw many. I am afraid that if I start counting, I will not count all of them, and that others will be offended. But we acknowledge you, and we are happy that you are supporting the program of the Youth League. Comrades, we are going to move right along. We are going to call the number one of the ANC Youth League, Nyct, to give us a key message from the National Youth Task Team. When the Nyct convener comes to speak to us, comrades, we are pleading that can we keep the noise level down, but can we all rise, comrades, and sing a hot revolutionary slogan so that we welcome our convener to speak on behalf of the Nyct team.
Oh, introduction from the national leadership of the African National Congress, as led by Comrade Ufi. All of the ANC members who have joined us here today, who, by the way, are all former ANC members of the ANC Youth League. That we've seen from national to local who've joined us here today. We've seen previous ANC members. We've seen various provinces of the Youth League that are present. And we can indeed confirm that this is indeed a national program. And lastly, comrades, greetings to the members of the NYTT, the coordinator, Comrade Joy Mamela, and all NYTT members, and members from the various provinces, as well, comrades, as our PYA partners. The leadership of SASCO is here, the leadership of the YCL is here, as well as the leadership of COSAS. Comrades, we are not going to be long because we are quite behind time in terms of our schedule, and also noting that we know that many of the comrades who are here are actually here to listen to the brand new elected SG of the ANC, who's brand new from the box. But comrades, as the Youth League, we have a short message that we want to send to the ANC. As the ANC has just come from a national conference with a brand new mandate and an ANC that is going to deliver the January 8th statement tomorrow. And our short message, comrades, is quite clear, is that if that message tomorrow does not characterize the year of 2023 as the year of youth, then we are not interested in that message, comrades. If the message tomorrow is not going to speak to the plight of young people, the fact that young people, all of us who are here today, majority of us who are here today, are unemployed, then we're not interested in that message, comrades. If the president stands on stage tomorrow and does not tell us specifically how he is going to ensure that the ANC-led government and the ANC as a liberation movement is going to speak to the issue of youth unemployment, which is a crisis in this country, then we are not interested in that message, comrades. If the message of tomorrow does not speak about the fact that we are living in the dark as young people, and as young women in particular, we live in fear of our lives because we do not have electricity, then we are not interested in that message, comrades. If the message tomorrow of the president does not speak to social problems that face young people in our communities, substance abuse, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, then we are not interested in that message. Therefore, as the former president comes here and the SG of the ANC comes here to speak about one of our former presidents, which is Comrade Peter Mokaba, whom today we are celebrating 64 years. What we are expecting in his address and in the address of the president tomorrow is specific, clear guidelines on what is the ANC's plan to respond to the plight of young people in the country. And that is our clear message today to the ANC that we are giving to the SG to go and relate to the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress. Amandla! Amandla! Viva ANC, viva! Roar, young lions, roar!
Trouble. that even on that land question, we will not rest until our land is restored back to its rightful owners without compensation. Any message that waters down that resolution will meet us ready on the street. Comrades, the moment that we've been waiting for, we are going to request that we exercise maximum discipline, as we will be addressed by the highest decision-making body of the ANC. We are going to request, because we respect protocol, we'll be requesting amongst the NEC members of the ANC that are here to come and introduce to you our keynote speaker. The good thing about this NEC, comrade, is that even if we did not succeed in ensuring that 65-year-olds no longer participate, but many generations of the youth league are in that NEC. So we've got many generations. We've got the former SG here today, the DP, we've got the former convener, but many. So we're going to request the former Deputy President of the ANC, Comrade Louisa, National Executive Committee member, to come and introduce the Secretary General of the ANC, DP.
No, thank you very much, Comrade Joy. Thank you very much, Comrade Joy, who is the program director, who is also the coordinator of the Youth League nationally. Comrade Onweba, who is the convener of the Youth League nationally. That is the leadership which have convened this important program. But before I announce and introduce the guest speaker, it is important to acknowledge the former Deputy Secretary General, the former Secretary General, Comrade Wilsa Ulemo, our SG, a young diamond which was found by the movement in the Northern Cape, which was later polished, and it is polished now. All other leaders, comrades, the NEC members have been acknowledged. Abo comrade Stella Ngabeni, abo comrade Chadema Beshala. But I'm going to introduce a young person. I know there's a confusion, even in our country. There was a special arrangement which was made after young people responded to the clarion call which was made by Oliver Tambo on Radio Freedom in 1985 to make South Africa ungovernable. If you talk about the youth, it's young people who are between the age of 14 and 25. That is the youth. In South Africa, a special arrangement was made because of that call of 1985 to increase the age of 14 and 35. It was a special arrangement. Some of you who belong to a category of special arrangement. Now I'm going to introduce a young comrade who was discovered by the movement at a younger age, at the age of 14, in a township called Buchabelo, here in the Free State. This young comrade, it was a rough diamond, discovered by the movement, by the ANC. He was part of COSAS, very vocal, very energetic, an organizer. He was then nurtured by the movement. He was taken to Luthuli House by the youth of this country. It was Shell House in those days. It was not Luthuli House. He was then elected to be part of the organizing in the Youth League. He was very young. He was then taken to be the Secretary General of the ANC Youth League. Later, he became the President of the ANC Youth League. Now, if you go back to the historical archives, it was only Mandela who took over from Pilki, who was the President of the Youth League, who was a student at Fort Hare University. At that time, the Secretary General of the Youth League, which Comrade President, this history no one talks about, it was Sobukwe. That history is always not elevated. That a person who crafted the program of 1949, the program of action, it was Sobukwe at Youth Fort. At that time, the president, it was Jeffrey Pilki. Mandela then took over. It was only Mandela who became the Secretary General, who also became the president. Now, this comrade, which I introducing, is the only person who became the Secretary General of the Youth League, who became the President of the Youth League. Now, through that generational program, the comrades who are sitting here, who are also sitting here, they came with this program, which is called the generational program. They went to a conference called here in Mangaung in 2012. They came with Comrade Fikile Mbalula. They said it must be the SG. But in that conference, the generation never succeeded, but the generation was never tired. Because the generation knew the generational agenda. It is not an event, it is a process. That is why the generation of 1944, which said economic freedom in our lifetime, that economic freedom only came in 1994. Many years later, that generation fought. It came with Comrade Fikile Mbalula. Today, we are introducing Comrade Fikile Mbalula, who is the Secretary General of the ANC. It then shows, comrades, it shows that that generational program, it is going to succeed. There is no way that the generational program of economic freedom in our lifetime, it cannot succeed when we are having Comrade Fikile Mbalula, who is the Secretary General of the ANC. It means that the program which is led by Comrade Nyct, which is led by Comrade Joy, it is going to succeed. Comrade Mbalula has been given many tasks, is a tried and tested comrade, is suited to address a memorial lecture of Comrade Peter Mokaba, a former president of the Youth League. Comrade Fikile Mbalula, Comrade Max, the Constitutional Song, comrades.
Thank you.
President.
Viva ANC Youth League, viva! Kiwata-wata! Kiwata! Kiwata-wata! Kiwata! Hey, ta! Ta! Hey, ta! Ta! Kiwata-wata! Kamarumo! Kia marumo! Marumo! Kia marumo! Asinta! Kia marumo! Marumo! Kia marumo! Asinta! Hey, ta! Ta! Hey, ta! Ta! Gala Kichuma! Kichuma! Gala Durungwan! Ifopai! Gala Durungwan! Yamasa! Chishtakia! Yamasa! Chishtakia! Yamasa! Gala Kilawan! Kilawan! Gala Kilawan! Yamasa! Attention! Royal Lions round. Each one. Each one. Each one. Freedom or death. Victory certain. Freedom or death. Freedom or death. Freedom or death. Amanda. Freedom. Freedom. Economic freedom. Economic freedom. In our lifetime. In our lifetime. Amanda. Long live Peter Mokaba. Long live. Long live Peter Mokaba. Long live. Thank you, comrades. Comrade convener of the ANC Youth League, Comrade Manleba, Comrade coordinator, Comrade Joy, my man, the entire NYTT of the Youth League, and to you, comrades, the ever-roaring young lions of the African National Congress. Comrades, you are the future and no one can stop you. And when we say uzoyithola kanjani, uhlele khoneni. Uzoyithola kanjani, uhlele khoneni. The ANC Youth League, Peter Mokaba used to say it is a boomerang. The ANC Youth League is an important organ of the African National Congress. I want to greet the ANC Youth League in their different generations. And to those present here today, starting with Andile Lungisa, as the former Deputy President of the ANC Youth League and his generation, I greet Comrade Vuyiswa Tulelo, if I were to strike a personal note, who I had an opportunity to work with as my Deputy Secretary General. Comrades, former leaders of the Youth League on the podium, Comrade Tandima Ambeshala, who is now here as well as a member of the National Executive Committee of the ANC. Comrade Stella Ndabeni, a member in government who's a minister coming from the ranks of the ANC Youth League, but also elected in the past conference as a member of the National Executive Committee of the ANC. Comrades, you have achieved what we could not achieve. And I want to remind you, as Peter Mokaba speaks to us from the grave, you, comrades, revolutionized the ANC. It is you, here in Mangaung, who introduced in the ANC strategy and tactics for the first time, when the ANC was celebrating its century of existence. The Youth League said the next century can be nothing else but economic freedom in our lifetime. Because the generation of Nelson Mandela, Oliver Tambo, Anton Limbede, Nkolisi Machombozi, Congress Mbata, have achieved freedom in their lifetime. When you introduced in the strategy and tactics a shift that then talked about radical economic transformation, it is the ANC Youth League in Midrand that said the next century should be about the toiling struggles for economic freedom. That is what you have achieved in revolutionizing the ANC. The second part, in the last conference, and I will explain to you, that radical economic transformation in the ANC, you then brought the resolution in the ANC on the land question. It is the ANC Youth League that championed the resolution in the ANC that as part of this economic freedom, it cannot be a hollow slogan. It must have a program of action, and that program of action became part of it giving meaning to this economic freedom, the land question. And then the Youth League said, we want land without compensation. Land expropriation without compensation. That is the resolution that was adopted in the ANC conference that was brought by the ANC Youth League. The ANC Youth League went further to define what are the tasks for the youth that the ANC must take up. And in those tasks, comrades, you began to talk to the reality that face an unemployed youth in our country. You began to say, what are we going to say to the youth that is disengaged, that is exposed to drugs, that is exposed to early teenage pregnancy? You began to say that the problem of the South African youth is a problem and a challenge of disengaged youth, and that the ANC government must implement what we call the National Youth Service Program, massification, to address the disengaged youth. When you go around the township, 12 o'clock during the day, the youth are toiling in the streets unemployed. But when you go deeper to what is in that youth, you find that majority of them have dropped out at matric. Majority of them have dropped out because of early teenage pregnancy. Majority of them are exposed to drug abuse. Now the youth of South Africa don't want handouts, mutende. That is why the response of the ANC Youth League to that problem was that in order to skill these young people, who in terms of our times, it was characterized as the lost generation, and we contested that notion, that we are not the lost generation. We are the militant, vibrant, death-defying youth of the African National Congress. We are not lost. That is why Peter Mokaba joined the struggle at the age of 19 and went to complete military training and went to be arrested and went to Robben Island and came back and led the South African Youth Congress, which was launched in 1987 in Cape Town. And the last president of the South African Youth Congress. And that is why that youth that Peter Mokaba led said, victory is certain, freedom or death. Victory is certain. Now the youth of the ANC today is taking from 1944 to Peter Mokaba, and it is a battle cry, economic freedom. You comrades must not apologize for being militant. You must not apologize and ask for things. You must champion the cause of the youth. You must not go to the ANC begging and asking. You must lead and shape the ideological direction of the ANC and influence the direction the ANC must take. That is your task. Khalima Mutlante says the ANC Youth League is a necessary problem of the ANC. Militancy, comrades, means you are driven not by emotion but by the ideological expression of what is wanted by society. Militancy is not anger, it's not hollow slogans. Militancy is about where are we going. Militancy is not about slaughtering people and vandalizing and character assassinating leaders. It's about giving political direction to the revolution. Comrade Joy and Comrade Noneba, you will lose the youth if you start speaking like old people. We want you to represent the view of the youth and lead the youth struggles in our country and tell the ANC what does the youth want, and not just be there and mimic political leaders without giving political direction. Comrades, Peter Mokaba and his generation responded to the call, render the country ungovernable and the apartheid machinery unworkable. Rabushwana was a militant president of the youth of our country. Peter Mokaba and his generation responded to that call. They then began, through South African Youth Congress, to recruit the youth of our country to swell the ranks of Umkhonto weSizwe. But they did not just join Umkhonto weSizwe. They joined Umkhonto weSizwe and became soldiers who were armed with the revolutionary theory. They were not directionless. And they recruited a whole lot of the youth into the ranks of the ANC. And that is why when we sing the slogan, Kia Marumo Asicha, we are talking about the arms. And we are talking about charging at the enemy in defense of our people. So those were slogans with meaning. But Peter Mokaba understood that when we ascended to political power, we needed to harness the militancy of the youth. But harnessing the militancy of the youth, we were not going to do it through slogans. We then had to begin to say, what are the tasks for the youth having come into power? We said, when the Youth League was formed, relaunched in the country in Siyabuso and Ndebele, the task of the youth is to rally the youth behind the banner of the ANC and champion their socio-economic interests. And that is why the struggle for job creation in our country must be led by the ANC Youth League. No one else can lead that struggle better with clarity of thought either than yourselves. We come from the conference because if the ANC, because Kgalema Motlanthe says as you grow up you learn fear. So Mbalula, when he grows up, he chooses words, and now he's the Secretary General. He's not going to be like Noneva. Noneva must get out of the way and then we'll bring them back. But they must be socialized in the politics of the African National Congress. But they must not apologize. You must teach young people discipline. You must teach them ideology. The advanced brigade of the African National Congress. Gathered here in this hall, you are the forward brigade that is expected to explain to the youth what the ANC will do for them. It does not mean that because we are in power you cannot occupy the streets and lead the struggles of young people. Comrades, the struggle is not over, the struggle continues. When the ANC agreed to autonomy of the Youth League, it was not delivered on a silver platter. You must defend it. We suffered for defending the autonomy of the ANC Youth League. The autonomy of the Youth League does not mean a state of total independence. We understand that correctly. But autonomy allows you to think and to be revolutionary and to be militant. Not this youth that is frog-marched by leadership and carrying out instructions. When somebody is going to speak on behalf of the ANC Youth League, he must get some lecture from some leader. And the only role of the ANC Youth League is to marshal branches to vote for a particular leader. The ANC Youth League role is to challenge the ANC with ideas. Because if the leadership of the ANC is too comfortable, they will forget the masses, comrades. We will forget the masses, and the Youth League is there to remind us. Don't say it only outside. Stand in the platform of the ANC and challenge the ANC politically. That is your role that Peter Mokaba has delivered for you. And you must defend it. We don't want sheepish ANC Youth League. The ANC Youth League that consult before they think. We don't want that. You must think and then we'll think with you. You think that the ANC, I hear you, Comrade Mokaba, you say, if January statement does not include this, and then it is not part of us, you must shape the January 8th statement so that it produces what is in the interest. You are the ones who must advise the ANC for the youth of the country. The youth of the country, comrades, are saying to us, we want to go to universities, but when we finish these universities, we go and look for employment, and before we get employment, they want experience from us. And as the youth of the country was saying, let's get experience whilst on the job. That's what the youth want. And that's what is in the manifesto of the ANC. Where will you get the experience if you were not employed anywhere? And it must start in government. Government must be able to train and employ and absorb young people and give them experience. That's what must happen. We must not apologize for who you are. Let me tell you about Peter Mokaba. Peter Mokaba did not clamor for positions. At some point, he was a deputy minister in President Mandela's cabinet. And for whatever that was the prerogative of the president who followed, Comrade Thabo Mbeki, he did not appoint him in his cabinet. And as the Youth League, we were very militant. We said, how can President Mbeki, when we fought for him to lead as a product of the ANC Youth League, how can he drop our president just like that? We were very much angry, we were not militant. And Ramushwana, in his true style, convened us to his home in Wendy Hood and said, comrades, the day you are going to march and challenge the ANC president for a position, that will be the death of the revolution. To serve in cabinet is a privilege, it's not a matter of principle. And I implore upon you to support the president. It is his prerogative. We can't all of us fight for positions. Here is a man, here is a comrade who could have abused the ANC Youth League and say, take him on. He said to us, don't do it. And if you do it, I will challenge you. And he gave us the right politics. Why is that important? Now, comrades, you have achieved something that we did not achieve. When Peter Mokaba served in Mandela's cabinet, we saw ourselves in him, even though we were not in cabinet. But the fact that our president was in cabinet, we saw ourselves in him. Today, you've got more than 5 ANC Youth League people in cabinet. And today you have captured the center of the ANC as a Secretary General. That is you. You did not do that for Mbalula. You do that for the generational mission. And when Mokaba and Joy called me and said that they've nominated me to be the Secretary General, I said, even if I lose, I know where I come from. And that will happen to every one of us. All these comrades who are here, from the Youth League ranks, you never forget where they come from. Even today, as we gather, we don't forget Peter Mokaba. Peter was born on the 7th of January, on the eve of the ANC January 8th. Today we remember him. Peter Mokaba was full of life. He will go to a party, did not drink, he did not smoke. He will go to a party, but he will not drown. He understood perfectly that to be among the youth in a party does not compromise your identity. Matsatsi a o kry motho a apere t-shirt ya ANC a tauwe ko semongolong. A tswa mo o lebetse di revolution. He thinks that it is a revolution. Kanti, the most important thing, comrades, is that you must live life to the fullest as young people. You must be where young people are, but you must lead them politically and imbue them with the ideology of the ANC. You must not drown in a beer hall. You must dance and do all the other things that young people do. Revolutionaries are not saints, comrades. They too love things, but they don't drown in those things. And that is what is important. So Peter Mokaba was a person full of life. Peter Mokaba loved education. When Peter Mokaba died, he had achieved Masters in Economic Development with the University of London through distant learning. He understood that revolutionary theory without academic base, it is not complete. When we talk about the cadre, that is what is important. Peter Mokaba understood that the movement must always produce organic intellectuals. And he was not afraid to think. At some point, he said, kill the Boer, kill the farmer. And the ANC said, you are out of policy, because the Youth League must always follow the ANC policy. You influence the ANC policy. That is why you are formed. Once that policy is adopted, you've got to defend it. Now, Peter Mokaba came with this slogan that we're always singing. He did not listen. He went on, and Mandela warned him, Comrade Peter, please, can you follow the policy of the African National Congress? And Peter modified and said, kiss the Boer, kiss the farmer. But still chanting and contextualized that the slogan, kill the Boer, kill the farmer, when the guerrillas were entering the country from Limpopo, inside the country, the Boers in the front line deployed the commandos, who were the farmers. And the commandos will capture and kill guerrillas in Limpopo on the other side of Bembe, coming from the side of Louis Trichardt, crossing the Limpopo River from the side of Zimbabwe, infiltrating the country. And then the Boers will kill our comrades. And that is why, deep in Angola, they composed a slogan and said, when you enter and infiltrate the country, kill the Boer, kill the farmer. It had to change, because now we are in power. Peter then said, kiss the Boer and kiss the farmer. Peter Mokaba understood, comrades, the distinction between emotion, anger, and militancy. You know what moves us as revolutionaries? It is the ideas. It is the suffering of our people. Any injustice meted against one of our own It makes us move and occupy the streets and fight racism. That is militancy. It's not anger. Anger is when you are emotional and then you are just ravaging at random without any substance. Now militancy, what makes you to stand up against an injustice meted against one of your own? And that makes you to go to the streets. It is militancy. It is because our revolutionary movement in its outlook is anti-racism. Our revolutionary movement is against tendencies such as tribalism. Ramshwan understood that as much as he was steady, he was growing in a South African nation that was characterized by many tribes. And they never, when we look at leadership, begin to say what language is he speaking? Where does he come from? Why is ANC dominated by Xhosas or Zulus? What about the Pedis? What about the vendors? The ANC have always understood and defeated the demon of tribalism. The very thing that led to the existence and the formation of the ANC was ANC uniting the African people in what we define today in the content of the National Democratic Revolution as a liberation of Africans in particular and blacks in general. The ANC was about the unity of the African people in 1912. Unity of the African people when African people were fighting wars and even fighting among themselves. The ANC emerged and united them against tribalism, petty tribalism. As we remember Peter Mokaba, Ramshwan, through Seiko, we campaigned and fought against destructive tendencies like Bulo. Unubulabo Makoko, older people in the villages were being killed. And then they were being associated with witchcraft. Peter Mokaba led the ANC youth through Seiko against those tendencies. The ANC Youth League of Peter Mokaba, of Anton Lembede, must champion the cause in the organization to fight against petty tendencies in the ANC. Don't look at the person what language he speaks before you elect them. Look at the cadre. You have achieved what we never achieved in our time in the Youth League. You've got the Youth League that is led by young women. I'm very proud standing here and see so many young women in the ANC Youth League. We have never had that. But we did have a Secretary General of the Youth League who were women, Vuiswa Tulelo and Filippo Trite. The ANC Youth League is your vehicle, comrades. And as the Secretary General of the ANC, when we remember Ramshwan, we must work and not be curtailed from convening a conference because of money. We are going to raise money and you are going to have a conference. We are tired of task teams. We want leaders. If we do not launch the ANC Youth League, it will be an indictment on me, it will be an indictment on all of them I serve with in the ANC National Executive Committee. We are going to take you to conferences screaming and kicking. And help us, comrades, and give the youth of South Africa the leadership it needs. But iskabala tsamaya na ya conference la tsamaya ka mapuna. You must debate leadership, and then you must debate the issues. You must have an organization. I don't care what Joy thinks or non-member. I care about what you members of the Youth League you are going to give us. Because I don't want in the next 5 years to be babysitting ANC Youth League. I want before April conference youth. We want to give the youth of our country leadership of the Youth League. And that leadership is going to come here in this hall and everywhere in the country. You must work to find each other. You were divided by the ANC conference. You even forget your own conference. Others were choosing this direction, others were not choosing this direction. Now, when we remember Peter Mokaba, and the best birthday we must give to him is to report to him. And I speak to Ramshwana because, comrades, when Peter was removed, he said to me, Comrade Secretary General of the Youth League, let's go to the house and reclaim the ANC. Peter Mokaba, when he died, he was the head of elections of the ANC. He was at 6th floor, we were at 7th floor. And then he died. And today we are reporting to him on the 7th. Comrade President, everything you taught us, we kept it alive to this day. And today, when we celebrate your birthday, we are talking on the podium when the ANC Youth League have achieved the result of occupying the central position in the African National Congress. Comrades, not only that, more than half of the ANC National Executive Committee, it is led by the ANC Youth League. Ramshwan, we don't know what that result will mean in terms of the ANC politics. But we can promise you that we'll defend the ANC till the end. And the ANC must and will emerge victorious in 2024. It will emerge victorious because the ANC is a weapon at the disposal of the people of South Africa and the world. It is the ANC that represents progressive ideas and that constitute the disciplined force of the left. Comrades, our people do not care who becomes a minister. What our people want from us, they want us to do away with load shedding. That's what our people want. If this is what makes you militant, not angry, we are friends in the struggle. Who becomes a leader cannot move you as a point of militancy, because anyone can occupy any role. But if you are moved by the fact that there is poverty, there is unemployment, and young people have been ravaged by nyaupe and drugs, and we must formulate a response to that urgent task, then we are in the revolution. If we are moved by the fact that women cannot walk free in the streets, and women are still defined as sexual objects depending on what they wear, then you stand up against that, then we're in the revolution. And if you understand that the majority of our people, the dispossessed, still don't have land, and the ANC must lead that particular struggle, then we are in the revolution. There must be no apology about that. It is the resolution of our conference. We come from a very important conference that have begun to give meaning and shape the direction our revolution must take, supported by the leadership that is elected. The ANC Youth League must be at the center of those struggles in the name of Peter Mokaba. Comrades, the ANC is facing what is called existential crisis, which in terms of our intervention, we talk renewal. And when I say renewal or death, I don't mean our own death, I mean the death of the ANC. We're not facing what the opponents are saying against us. The question is, how organized are we to defend the revolution? Our opponents are worried about us because they think in this existential crisis, we are finally facing the death knell in 2024. It is the ANC and the Youth League. It is literally in our hands to do the right things, to defend the revolution. Not what our opponents are saying. What do we say about renewal? If we don't renew, we face death. This organization will die. Peter Mokaba coined the concept, adapt or die. Ramshwar, rather die to a man than to let the enemy pass. 1987, we were in Grootfontein maximum prison with Rapu Mulikani and comrades from Soweto. Comrades arrested, young people being arrested. Peter Mokaba being arrested and tortured by John Foster Square. And he spoke to us, and he said, the president, rather die to a man than to let the enemy pass. That's what Peter Mokaba said. And he only inspired us to continue with the struggle. Joining the organization was not the business of everybody. It meant death. It meant everything taken away from you. The privilege of getting educated, the possibility of becoming anything in life was taken away from the youth of our country. Comrades, we are not going to reminisce about the past. It is upon us now to determine what must happen going into the future and defend the African National Congress. Now, the renewal program is a program of the ANC, and that renewal speaks to us. If we don't change our ways of doing things, our people will take this right of theirs to vote away and face the other direction. The self-serving attitude among some of us must go away. We must not defy the organization and to serve as a moment of friendship. We came from a conference, comrades, we contested. Other people lost there. And Yeah, other people lost, but they are still our comrades. We must not use conferences when you are in power, you chase comrades. You think that is politics. We need everybody now in the ANC. The only ones who will let go are those who are incorrigible. And anyway, they've decided to leave without even touching them. We know, comrades, of some moves of some angry comrades who want to form political parties in order to decrease the majority of the ANC. Look at them and understand what makes them to be so angry. We have reached a moment now in terms of the ANC where we've got to be principled. We are not going to do things that will compromise the ANC. People are stealing, they are running down municipalities, and then they expect us to look at them and smile. It's not going to happen. You connive, you work against the ANC from within, we find you, we warn you, you don't listen. We will trample upon you because the moment of renewal does not need English, comrades. It needs the truth. The moment of renewal in the name of Peter Mokaba does not need a lot of English and concocted theories that are not based on any tools of analysis we have been taught. The moment to act and to act decisive is now. Anybody, and I'm saying now, anybody who serves as a mayor, as a councillor, as a cabinet minister, they must earn it. If you are a cabinet minister, you don't work, why should we keep you there, sleeping on the job? Cabinet ministers must be busy. And my job as the SG is to tell the president, "Long to learn, that's my job. We must not speak a lot of English. President, why are you keeping people who are sleeping on the job? When we've got an abundance of talent here, we want runners, sifuna bagijimi. You can't have a minister of transport. You can't have a minister of transport who is not even known by his own child. And then Umututi minister, who's the minister of agriculture? Who's the minister of arts and culture? Who's the minister of economy? Ministers must be known. They must do their job, or they will ship out. I'm saying that, comrades, even if it means I've got to say it for myself. The ANC gave me a job of transport. I did not sleep. And then I'm happy for the president to appoint the next person. And anyone, including these MECs in the provinces, the only thing they know is the next conference. You think that to be an MEC is a fashion parade, or to be a mayor. You are a mayor, you don't do your job, just like here in Mangaung. Who's the mayor here? We have been taught by Peter Mokaba. They must know we've got an appointment with them. We will evaluate them and we will ask questions. Why do we still have a mayor? Why do we have a mayor in Mangaung who we don't know what he's doing? Why? Why should we have a mayor, or anyone for that matter? When we sing the song, izinto fanele zijike sizibona sijika ngempela, otherwise sizophucwa ipower ihambe because of sleepers, abantu abanele nje emsebenzini. We're not going to do that. In the name of Peter Mokaba, we must be very clear. You are given an opportunity to serve our people. The time where people sit on positions and they know that they cannot be touched is over. We will touch them. If Ramaphosa can wake up at 4 o'clock, go to Africa, fly, come back, and address rallies in the country, as a minister, when a person, when you are given a job, you must earn it. See, just sitting on the comrade, you are busy. And then you sitting there, you having a good time, Tina Siabulawa, like we door to door. When I'm shedding up Nandinje, who enjoy Ukuba Umeya, Umanjani Umeya, you must be busy. You must be busy. We give them power, comrades. As I conclude, we give them power. We do a door to door. They go and give away that power. They go and vote with the opposition. Because they don't know where that power comes from. Bayahamba, Bayoshalepsugu, Bavotele opposition. We will not tolerate a fifth column in the ANC. It starts now and it ends here. And that's what is going to happen. Comrade Peter Mokaba was a young lion. And he taught us well. When we leave here, comrades, when we go and celebrate January 8th statement, tomorrow, when we leave, we will start here in Mangaung. We are going to clean before 5 days. And then we will proceed to the rest of the country. The only ones who will be kept are those who are doing their job. And Western Cape, we must go to Western Cape and liberate our people from the clutches of the DA. There in Western Cape, you are fighting over something you don't have. You don't have power, comrades. You don't have power, but you are fighting. You are fighting over something you don't have. We must go to the Western Cape and reclaim it. We must go to Nelson Mandela. And then we must come to Gauteng and defend the revolution in Gauteng. Everywhere in the country we must consolidate. But we can only consolidate if there is discipline in the ANC. We cannot afford to have 15 people, members of the NEC, leaking NEC information to the media. And then NEC members speaking in tongues on one subject. The NEC, it must be defined by one message, many voices. The NEC must lead from the front when it comes to discipline. We must not talk at a go about different things. There must be discipline in the organization. And by saying discipline, comrades, you must understand it politically. It does not mean that we don't tolerate dissent, dissenting views. We tolerate dissent is a principle. Discipline means you don't work in the organization like as if we are running, even a spaza shop is run better. It is something else you can't define. And discipline does not mean anarchy, because anarchy is the highest state of disorder. So the ANC Youth League must be at the center of those struggles. When people see us after tomorrow, they must see a rejuvenated ANC on the ground. An ANC that comes out of conference resolved, decisive about what needs to happen. We're not going to waste time, comrades. Many things are going to happen quick and fast. Quick and fast. We don't want to waste time. It is the 7th of January. And we remember Peter Mokaba, and I conclude, comrades, by saying the following. In conclusion, the legacy of Peter Mokaba must galvanize us into action that gives practical expression to our commitment of renewal of the ANC. This process needs a thorough assessment of the challenges that face the movement. The process of renewing the ANC requires of the movement to conduct a process of self-criticism. It is against this understanding that Mao Zedong, in his article on rectifying the party style of work, said, I quote, "We want to lead the people in overthrowing the enemy. And so we must keep our ranks in good order. We must march in step." It is this high level of consciousness and conscience that President Mbeki, in his speech during commemoration of June 16 in 2008, challenged the young people of South Africa and said, I quote, "Good role models among us, the best young lions, must be those who work with the community, who help the poor, who volunteer to help improve their neighborhoods, who give due respect to other members of the community. including the elderly and people with disabilities, and those who respect the values of Ubuntu and good moral conduct. This is how we should remember Comrade Ramushwana Peter Mokaba. Amandla! Awethu! Kilibata! 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 Kiyamarumo! Asija! Kiyamarumo! Asija! Chincha Kerala! Yamasa! Chincha Kerala! Kilame! Eita! Ta! Eita! Ta! Chincha Kerala!
appreciate each and every one of you who made sure that this program becomes a success. We are definitely coming back to Free State on the 25th of January for a proper anti-racism march, because we cannot keep quiet after what happened in Free State, Comrade SG. We have a proper date with serious racists on the 25th, and the Youth League in Free State will lead that march. Thank you, NYTT members who have made sure that all the build-up programs of the ANC Youth League are a success. A living organization, comrades, requires youthful energy. And that is why, as we thank you and close, we are proceeding to the grounds where we started to go and conclude with the community in Ward 5, where we will be concluding the soccer tournament as we continue to build better communities, comrades. Thank you for that convener